Hello, TikTok world. Today we take a look at the lesson from John chapter 11 for the fifth Sunday in Lent. And today we're starting with verse 32. When Mary came where Jesus was and saw him, she bowed down at his feet and said, "Lord, if you had been here, my brother wouldn't have died." When Jesus saw her weeping, and the Jews weeping who came with her, he groaned deeply and was troubled. "Where did you lay him?" he asked. "Lord, come and see," they answered him. And Jesus burst into tears. "See how he loved them," the Jews said. But some of them asked, "He gave sight to the blind man. Couldn't he have kept this man from dying?" And groaning deeply again, Jesus went to the grave. For our text, a couple of things here. Oftentimes these emotions that Jesus displays here are oftentimes thought of displaying his humanity. And that may be true, but these are things that also upset God. In the first place, when he says he's deeply moved in himself or in the spirit, the Greek says "ene bri mesato to pneumati," right? He was indignant in his spirit, right? When why if you would have been here, you could have saved him. And hey, Jesus saved the blind. He gave sight to the blind man back in chapter 9. Why couldn't he have saved Lazarus, kept him from dying? And both those times, first is Jesus is indignant in his spirit, and then the second time, he's indignant in himself, right? Because of the lack of faith here in him. Secondly, he was in a teratzen, eteteratzen in himself, right? He was torn up in himself because his friend Lazarus died. And that also can be an emotion on God hates the death of all people. He did not intend for mankind to die. That was never part of our humanity. He's really torn up in himself, and his friend Lazarus has died. And of course, then we get the shortest verse in all the Bible, right? Jesus wept. And that may be part of his humanity, but I thought it's his divinity too. God's saddened by our deaths. It doesn't please him. He takes no pleasure in our death, the scripture says, right? And so we got these two things going on here. Jesus, he's upset because they don't believe in him, and he's torn up inside because his friend died. And you know what? When we die, he's torn up too. It's okay. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to grieve over our loved ones, even though Jesus is going to raise him from the dead. So grieve. Jesus grieved. God grieves.